AVAIYA has changed my life.
AVAIYA has made me the woman I am today.
AVAIYA is my home.
AVAIYA is personal freedom.
AVAIYA is the reason my life continuously improves.
Let everyone in your life know about AVAIYA.
Everyone needs to know about this amazing company.
Thank you, AVAIYA, for appearing in my inbox.
What Ike Allen and Andy Anderson have created at AVAIYA is what the world needs.
Hello, AVAIYA family. I'm Andy Anderson. My partner Ike Allen and I are teachers, mentors, and the co-owners of AVAIYA University. AVAIYA is the creator of over 1,000 books, films, courses, teachings, and other supportive resources. Thank you so much for joining us. Our fellow teacher, Iris Benrubi, is back with us today to talk about Is Opening Your Heart Even Worth It? Steps to Heal and Be Truly Loved. Iris is an international dating and relationship expert, a registered psychotherapist, and marriage counselor. She has spent over 20 years professionally coaching and counseling men, women, and couples in over 16 countries to find true love. She is an inspirational and charismatic international keynote speaker, spiked with humor, energy, and wit. And when she isn't coaching, she's traveling to destinations far and wide, riding her motorcycle, doing backflips on the trampoline, or riding in her pink two-seater convertible. Welcome back, Iris.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, I loved reading that about you because that's just so much fun. I could tell you're that person having exciting adventures all by the colors in your background too.
I am a colorful, adventurous person.
Oh, I love it. Well, I love your topic today. I think it's so perfect for this topic of betrayal and deception and helping people through this. So I'm curious. I know that there are probably a lot of people who, after they've had the experience of betrayal or deception, they might not want to ever date again. They might not want, if the deception is, let's say, infidelity or something like that, and they would just want to remain single. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so it's an interesting question because how the brain is set up, I'm a psychotherapist and marriage counselor, how our brain is set up is that it's wired to look for the risk and protect us. So if you've been cheated on or you've been betrayed or deceived in whatever way, where your brain goes is, I need to protect her or him, and male or female, I need to protect her. So better not to go out there again. How do I know it's not going to happen again? So really the quest for you is to figure out, did you miss something? If you did, what did you miss? What is it that had you maybe be attracted to this kind of person? I don't believe too much in the law of attraction because I think we attract all kinds of people towards us. It's who are we letting into our lives? That's really the question where it's at. And I'm going to share a sad thing here for a moment. My own partner that I attracted through my own 3 steps that I teach passed away in a car accident a few months ago. And so through my own grieving, I've been sitting with, is it really worth it if I see one more waterfall? What about another sunset? Or if I see another beautiful thing, like what's the point of life? And I really struggled with this for a couple months until one day, and my granddaughter wanted to go see a movie and she picked the movie and I hated it. And so I'm sitting there and going like, so what's the point? Like, what if I see another movie? And then I realized the point is life is to be shared. We want our life to be witnessed. We want to share our experiences. There's things in romantic relationships that you can have that you can't have with a girlfriend, right? Putting your arm under the pillow. I love that at nighttime, and we just hold each other and just squeeze it for a moment and fall back asleep. Or the going to a family get together and that aunt that just gets under your skin says something and you both just kind of look at each other with a half a smile. So you know that he gets you. Those are the things that are available for you in relationship. If you're willing to do the work to open your heart again, and the work for you is, what do you need to learn to ensure that this doesn't happen again?
Thank you for sharing. And I'm so sorry about your partner.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's talk more about trust, right? Obviously, in betrayals and deception, trust is breached, trust is lost. What would you say are the 2 types of trust that people experience, and how can you differentiate between the 2?
Yeah, that's a great question because there's basic trust. You go on a date with someone, you assume they're not a serial killer or a psychopath. Of course, you're going to keep yourself safe, be in public until you gauge, but you can't go out assuming everyone's going to be a serial killer. So there's something called basic trust. You meet a woman, you want to go out. I mean, I'm talking about straight women. You meet a woman, you want to go out for coffee. You assume she's going to show up, right? You can't go in with the fear of everything. So that's basic trust. Beyond that is evolved trust that happens over time and experiences. Do they do what they say they're going to do? Do they follow through? I remember I went on a tour once and a man came up to me and he said, I can take you on this tour. Let me talk to the rest of the people on the boat. Who else wants to go? And I said, sure. And then he came to me, and said, no one else wants to go. We're going to go over to the port here and see on the next boat. And I said, how far away is that? 'Cause I don't know this person. And he said to me, looks like you don't trust me. And I'm thinking, well, trust is earned over times and experiences. I don't know this person. Like, he took it personally, but it's people assume that you can know whether you can trust someone, and you can't until you've had enough experiences over time that tells you this person is consistent, does what they say they're going to do by the time they say they're going to do it.
Yes, great example. Absolutely. Most of us are not just diving into, situations if we're uncomfortable and not knowing a person yet. And yes, not being able to trust them yet.
Let me say one more thing, or we do the exact opposite. Even though we have all these examples of trust, we still don't trust because I've been hurt before. I better be careful. I take it very, very slow, even though you have over and over and over and over examples where this person does show up for you.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm curious too. And, I know the majority of your work is with heterosexual couples. Is that correct? Women seeking men. So I'm curious, what are some signs or markers that a man, if someone is dating or whatever, if that man can be trusted?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So some of the things that you want to look at is, does he show up when he says he's going to show up? Or does he call you ahead of time, say, listen, I'm running a few minutes late, I'm sorry. And is that a consistent pattern for him? Right? Is it the exception? Can he take responsibility for his stuff in relationship rather than always find excuses? Does he judge other people, especially behind their back, like, oh, that waitress should not be wearing that dress? That's an example of someone who, with your emotions, you can't just be fully vulnerable because there's going to be a judgment in there. Does he do what he says he's going to do by the time he's going to do it? Does he listen to you to hear your point rather than listen to you to respond, to either tell you how you're wrong or how he has a better idea, or make it all about him? So those are already 5 points that you can start with that will give you a guideline when you're out there to, rather than just be guided with my heart or my head, what are some actual markers that can tell me this guy can be trusted?
Yeah. And that's so important because oftentimes, right, in the beginning of relationships or beginning dating someone new, right, we have so many chemicals running through our body if we're really into that person, that I think that can often mask some logic like what you just laid out. So
For sure.
yeah. Okay. So what about if a relationship has been broken by betrayal or deception? Do you believe that relationship can be repaired?
Yeah, I do that all the time as a couples counselor. I work with couples where there has been a break. Sometimes it's cheating, sometimes it's other things, sometimes it's financial. Sometimes there are on many realms on which things can happen. It can be an emotional affair, not always a physical affair. However, that bond, that sacred bridge between two people, when it gets broken, it can be repaired, but it takes time. And like I said, it's the same thing as the trust thing, is that over time and experiences, you get to see how this person shows up. Can they empathize with your experience? Are they willing to take responsibility for what they brought that caused you pain? Not that they caused you the pain, you're the one that felt the pain, but what their responsibility in the whole dynamic is. Are they willing to give you the time to heal and feel safe? Do they dismiss you because it's either taking you too long or you're asking too many questions? So yes, it can be repaired, and it does take time. And usually it's going to take someone to guide you along that road.
And so for people watching who have experienced such a betrayal with a romantic partner, or spouse, what have you, do you have, I mean, everybody's different, right? We all have different journeys, and some people choose to move on with that partner and go through the healing work, and some people choose not to. I guess, are there any suggestions for you if a person is at like a deciding point of trying to figure out what they want to do, how to handle that?
I guess my biggest question is to ask yourself, if you could predict whether someone is trustable or not, would you be willing to do the work to open your heart? And then on the flip side, to look at, if I didn't know how to predict if someone can be trusted, whether I can open up my heart to this person, what would the benefits be to my life? And I think that's the answer for you to answer for yourself. You'll come up with your own answer.
Yeah. Yeah. And absolutely, because everyone, we've all got different paths. That's a beautiful way of looking at it. Well, thank you, in case people are at that, kind of crossroads right now, trying to figure out what to do.